Well, hey, welcome to the Brave Family Podcast, everybody. This is episode number 4
Number
with
4.
Shashelle and me,
Hey,
JJ
guys.
Rosner.
Thanks for joining.
And today we are talking about
Delight. We're
Delight.
talking about the fun factor, the joy in the family culture, and why that fun factor with delighting really gives the family culture a sticky quality.
Yeah, sticky quality. I like that.
Sticky
That's
quality.
Right. Well, but here's the reality, right? There's a warning here. There's danger ahead.
Okay.
Because statistically, every 7 to 10 years, your family's going to experience some sort of crisis, whether it's financial or other.
I
That's
felt
a
that.
fact that's gonna hit families. But here's the deal. If there's a joy factor in your family,
Right.
if your family has times of fun, even when crisis hits, the family will stick together. You won't lose people.
Absolutely.
The problem becomes when there's, crisis hits the family. There's no joy factor or fun in the family.
Right.
Like, that's when people start bailing and they don't really come back into the culture of the family.
Right, and we're always trying to create an atmosphere where our family wants to come back. That having that feeling of safety, that feeling of fun. I like my home. That's where I want to be. If we create all of our experiences on outside events, if we've outsourced all of the fun factors in our family, then are their hearts really anchored to our home? I don't know. It's really important to me that our home's a place where our family wants to come back to, spend their holidays, have their celebrations.
Right. And I think the hard thing for I don't know for you, but for me was when our oldest son was little, and we tell this story often, but our oldest son had a little buddy who was a friend of his, and we'll just call them the Johnsons for right now, okay? But a good friend of his that lived across the street from us in the neighborhood we lived at the time, and I'll never forget him coming over asking, and I don't even remember what the scenario was anymore.
I was pretty rule driven back then,
but
in the early days. I mean, he was our first, so he hadn't learned a ton yet, right?
But their family was doing something that our family doesn't
Right.
do. Like, I don't know if you've ever run into that scenario where it's like, well, I want to do X, and we're like, well,
And
hey,
he's like,
Rosner's,
but Dad, they do it.
I know. And I was like, hey, yeah, but Rosner's, we don't do that.
Right.
And he said, well, I want to be a Johnson. And I was like, oh no, like my kid doesn't even want to be a part of our family culture. And I was like, and it was like, that was the wake up call to me that I was like, man, we've created a family culture that if this thing goes sideways, he doesn't even want to be a part of. He wants to go be a part of another family. And I thought, man, we've got to fix that, because the reality is creating joy in your family, like many other things.
It's kind of the tether string that tethers them back to your family.
Well, yeah, and it takes effort.
Mm-hmm,
you know what
it
I mean?
does.
Like.
Oh, Jack Black.
Yeah, I mean, so Jack Black, when he was filming one of his panda movies, one of the Kung Fu Panda movies, they asked him, they're like, hey, how do you just find all these, he was doing some impromptu, humor. And they're like, how do you just find these moments of fun in these movies? And he said, fun is like gold. It has to be found. It has to be mined. You have to dig for it and look for it. Like, it doesn't necessarily
You would
come
be
naturally.
surprised how much work fun is.
Yeah, that's right.
And actually, speaking of that, I remember a long time ago just learning that moms are generally organized or fun, but rarely both. You typically land in one of those two categories, but kids need both. And so you have to learn to operate outside of your strength. And so for me, I'm very much more organized. I mean, my kids were on a chore schedule, but fun was something that I really had to invite you into because I didn't have that value. I mean, we had a work value. We'd go out and chop wood together as a family, and that was like good family time.
That's right. We said that we worked hard and played hard, but really we just kind of worked hard a lot.
Oh, I'm talking about like the family I was raised in. It was all work. It was all work and no play. So you really helped me with that, just valuing fun and really bringing the joy. Because there's 2 times that your kids are most receptive to what you have to say, and that's when they're having fun and just after they've had some fun.
That's right, with you, right?
Right.
Like when they're having fun with you and right after they've had fun with you is the most times that they're going to open up to you in those moments. And,
so important.
And it's just super important. You have to be able to find the fun factor. And sometimes it takes effort. It takes, sometimes it takes planning.
Right.
Sometimes it definitely takes time.
It's creating moments in your calendar so you can value what they value and enter into their world. Yeah. And their walls really don't come down unless we enter into their world, have some fun together. Okay, I swore when, after getting out of my house, I swore I would never marry a hunter.
I am a hunter.
And
yeah,
lo
that's
and
right,
behold,
yeah.
I married
I'm
the
an
duck
outdoorsman.
hunter. And so I go out and I shoot ducks, and I go out and I shoot pheasant with my boys, and we chase down
Oh my gosh!
not prairie chickens. What are
if
they?
we can, we'll put the picture in the
Grouse?
podcast. But we
Oh
have
my
this
gosh.
hilarious picture because she doesn't
Sorry.
do any of those things, but she does it to be with her boys. We're a family
do
of
it
boys.
to enter into their
and,
world.
We have a girly girl as a mom and wife in the house. But
We used to have a hunting dog. Now we have a little Yorkie, and we take the Yorkie hunting.
That's right. I made fun of people my entire life for having little dogs, and I love that little
We're
dog.
off topic. We're off topic. But we have to enter into their world. We have to have fun to really allow moments for them to open up their heart and share their secrets.
But I
Because
would say-
kids, man, they hold on to those secrets.
Right, but I would say that that's true for us, not just our kids.
It's true.
Right? Like, I mean, really, this is a whole. I mean, we're talking about the holistic family, not just being parents and not just kids. Like, I would
Right.
say the same is true for us. Like, if everything for us, if we're just business partners living under the same roof,
Right,
like, that's-
co-managers of our household.
Right, that's not a marriage, and that's not making a family. So
Mm-hmm.
like even us, we have to find those times for fun and whatnot.
Yep.
To which I talk to busy dads all the time, and the
Yeah.
biggest rebuttal to my encouragement for them to find times of fun is I just don't have enough time. I'm just so
Sure.
busy, and I would just say this: listen, you can't afford to not find these times of fun. Like if you're too busy to be in the world of your kids and your spouse and to create some joy there, I would say you're just flat too busy.
Right. We were even joking just the other day of make time for the people who are going to be around the deathbed. Like, it's like you want to know who you make time for, who's your priority?
That's right.
That's the
that are
people
gonna
you
be
want
there at
on
the
your
end.
deathbed.
That's right. That's right. But real quick, let me just give you 3 elements to creating some family delight is the way that we put it, but just creating a spirit of joy around
That's
your
right.
family. The first one is that you have to learn how to enter their world. It's not all about you. Sometimes you got to enter their world to
That's
find
good.
out kind of where they're at and the things that they enjoy and
I love
like to
that.
do, like what you were talking
Absolutely.
about with coming hunting and fishing with us at times, and
Yeah.
and me embracing the Yorkie. you know?
Absolutely. Embracing the Yorkie. And, it's amazing how when you're doing things side by side, the heart leaks. Out of the abundance, the heart speaks is a scripture that we love. But the way JJ says it is out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth leaks. And if you want the secrets to leak out of your kid's heart, it's amazing when you're doing things side by side. It just takes a little pressure off and the secrets unravel.
Yeah, that's right. The other one is just finding key points of connection. There are points where you and your kids, you and your spouse connect, and you got to discover the things that connect you to each family member, not just
Yeah,
the
'cause
family
it's
as
not
a
always the
whole.
same.
You have to find those connecting points with each individual family member. When you have a big family, it takes more time. When you have a smaller family, it still takes time, just not as much time. But you find those things that you both enjoy to do, and man, you start finding moments of joy
Right.
and delight in those. And then the third one is just putting it on the schedule. You got to schedule times
That's
of
good.
fun. Use the calendar to your advantage.
That's
Here,
right.
we talked about that in the last
Build your
podcast,
family
but
with the
yeah.
tools of calendar.
That's right. And I would say this, like, keep your appointments with your family. It's been said, trust takes years to build and just moments to lose. And I would say that, man, when it comes to setting scheduled appointments with your family, man, you can lose more trust with your family by
it's
not
true.
keeping those appointments than almost anything else. Man, those go on those are big rocks on your
That's
calendar.
right.
They are super important as you're kind of building that trust.
Right. And I think when it comes to joy and having a lot of fun with our family, we just can't take ourselves too seriously.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Tell us more about that, Mrs. Serious.
Well, I'm serious. I like serious. We all, when our second was born, he was like cracking jokes, and he was only this big. I didn't even know babies could crack jokes, and he was this big. I had him in my arms. I was nursing. I didn't want to say that, but I was nursing the baby. He cracks a joke, and I lifted him up, and I was like, God, I'm not funny. I have no sense of humor. I don't even like funny people. Is this like? He just cracked a joke. Are you trying to like balance my lack of sense of humor?
It's so funny.
And that's kind of been our struggle pretty much up until now. Like he's 19 now, but he's the funny one.
I know it, and I love it, and you're still getting used to it. I mean,
yeah,
that's kind of how that
it takes
works.
a little more
but-
effort for me.
Yeah, that's right. You know, and let me throw a quick little pro tip at you in terms of creating some joy around the house, finding some delight. Is celebrate what you want to duplicate. So,
That's
like,
awesome.
and when you catch somebody in your family actually fulfilling a family value or fulfilling like part of the culture that you love, go over the top and make it a big deal and
Yes.
do it in front of everybody.
Yes.
Right? Because when you do it in front of everybody, they're like, man, I want to get that
That's
kind of
right.
like, man, I want to be celebrated like that. And you'll watch them start doing
That's
the same
right.
things. It just takes a little time.
And
a
those
little
public
intention.
affirmations are
Yeah.
so powerful, even if it's just publicly in front of their siblings. But when you're out and you're giving them accolades for great behavior, man, celebrate what you want to duplicate, even in front of other people. It'll go a long way.
Oh, it'll go a long way, but you got to find moments of creating delight. You got to listen. We've talked about the key ways to build family culture, and that
Right.
is you're going to define your family culture. You're going to defend it, but man, it's really important. You have to find moments of delight.
That's
you got to
good.
create that spirit of joy, because the rest of it doesn't really work without that spirit of joy that's
Yes.
in your home, and it's just
And
more
when
work.
the stuff hits the fan, it tethers them back. It ties their heart to yours, and they need a place to run that they know is safe, is going to be welcoming, and their home is safe and it's fun, and that's a place that they want to be.
Yep, that's exactly right. And we'll show you a little bit more of how to do that. Obviously, you know, if you look down into the show notes, there should be a link to the Family Culture Framework.
Yes.
It's free from us. Download it, go through it. We just want to help you. We want to help you create the family that
you've always wanted.
That you've always wanted. We believe, listen, remember, you can have the family that you always wanted. You can have it. Doesn't matter where you came from or where you think you're going or what you're
Yep.
experiencing right now.
Even if you're not the fun mom.
That's right. A little bit of intention and a little bit of help, and you can get there. I promise you. We believe in you.
That's right.
You got this.